All right, this is worksheet 4.4b. We're doing graphing linear equations. You've already had one worksheet on this already, so this is the second one. Hopefully everybody's doing okay on it. Let me just take a minute and get things set up here. Should have had this done already. I want to unlock that and delete that layer. And I think that should be okay. Make sure all these other ones are turned off. It needs to be turned on, and this needs to be okay. Here we go. Still can't get my right layer turned on. There we go. Okay, list ordered pairs for each of the points on the graph. Find the slope for each of the line segments. So let's look at point A. If I look at point A, I go over to the left 1, 2, 3. So that means that ordered pair is a -3. And then I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3 to -7. Let's look at C. C is 1, 2, 3, 4. So a +4 on the X. And it looks like I go up 2. Alright, so that's how you do this first part, is you just look over on the coordinate plane and you just count the X address, the X, how far you go over on the X-axis and how far you go up on the Y. Okay, let's take a look at these over here. Now what you do here is you're going to look at the point C and F. You're going to look at that line segment. So let's go ahead and draw that line segment. Why don't I use red on this? So we're going to start there at F, or C, go down to F. There's a line segment. If I look at the vertical change, it goes right to there. The horizontal change over. So how does that look? It looks like I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is 6 vertical change and then 1, 2 horizontal change. Now you could count this backwards the other way if you wanted. You could go up this way. Let's say you go over and then I go down. Does that still give me the same thing? Yeah. I could actually go up and then back. That would still also give me the same thing. Now this slope simplifies to that equals 6 over 2 equals 3 over 1. So there's the slope, or you could write 3. Okay, let's do EF. So I've got EF, so I start there. So there's the line segment EF. So how far do I go? It looks like I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on the X. And I go up and down. My vertical change is none, so that's 0. So this is 0 slope. Or you just could write 0, would be fine. Okay, we're okay with that. Let's go down here and let's look at some of the other questions that we've got. Let's look at 2. It says find the slope between each ordered pair. Now I saw on the first worksheet that many of you did, you found the difference between each one of these, but you didn't give me the slope. So 6 to 4, that's down 2. 4 to 2 is down 2. 2 to 0 is down 2. And 0 to a -2 is down 2. Now I check all my Y's. That looks like that goes down by 3. That's down by 3. That's down by 3. And that's down by 3. And the directions says find the slope between each ordered pair. These are just the change. I want the slope would be 3 over 2. change in the y's over the change in the x's. That would be 3 over 2. 3 over 2 and 3 over 2. And so when the slope is the same between all the points, you would write, yes, they're linear. Okay. So that's what you'll do on these other three problems. And make sure you show me the slope. If you don't show me the slope, you're gonna get those easy problems wrong. Okay, let's go to the next page, or the bottom part of the paper. And this is probably the most important part. Let me reset this. See everything. Move this down here. So it says, rewrite the following equations as y in terms of x. Calculate a table of 3 ordered pairs and graph and label the lines for each equation on the coordinate plane. Draw the line draw the line for the equation all the way through the graph. So I have a little typo there. So let's make sure this layer is turned on. I want to turn that one on. So we've got a negative 7x plus 3y equals 6. So we know I have to reverse the subtraction here. So we'll take 7x to each side. We know that's gone, and then we're going to divide by the number in front of the y, or the coefficient of y. So that linear equation now becomes 7 over 3x plus 2. Okay, now we have to pick our ordered pair. Remember, I want multiples of 3 so I can get my denominator to cancel out. So I'm just going to use 3. I'm going to use a negative 3, and then why don't I just use 6? 6 will be too big. I'll use a negative 6. So we put 3 in here. Let's go over to my scratch paper here so you can see this. So 7 over 3x plus 2. Turn on the scratch paper. Some of you kind of get lost here. Turn that off. So I've got there we go. I've got 7 over 3x plus 2. So that's the ordered pairs that I'm going to choose. So I got 7 over 3. I'm going to put 3 in plus 2. Well, those 3 over 3 is 1, right? So 1 times 7 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. So that first ordered pair is going to be 3 and 9. Now the next ordered pair, I have 7 over 3. I've got a negative 3 in for x plus 2. Well, that becomes a negative 1. So 7 times a negative 1 plus 2. That's a negative 7 plus 2. So that will give me a, what is it? A negative 5. And then the last one I use a negative 6. So I have 7 over 3 times a negative 6 plus 2. Well, this is a negative 2. 3 into a negative 6 is a negative 2, so that's a negative 14 plus 2 equals a negative 12. Well, that's off the graph. I can't plot that one, so I can't use that one. Let's try 0. That ought to make it easy. So 7 over 3 times 0 plus 2, that gives me 2. So 0 and 2. So my ordered pair are 3 and 9, a negative 3 and a negative 5, and 0 and 2. Okay, let's turn this off. Let's go back to our page. So do you see how I'm getting those numbers? So now we're going to change this last one. We know that a negative 6 won't work, so we're going to change this last one. And then, okay, here we go. I still don't have the right layer turned on, I'm sorry. There we go. So this last one I can't use a negative 6. I've got to use 0. So let's recalculate this. I've got 3 over 3 is 1, right? 3 goes into there, so 3 over 3 is 1. So that's 7 plus 2. So that's what we want in here. 7 plus 2 gives me the 9 that I want. I put a negative 3 in here. That gives me a negative 1. Negative 1 times 7 is a negative 7. So we got a negative 7 plus 2 equals a negative 5. And the last one I'm going to use 0, so I have 0 plus 2 is 2. So the ordered pairs are 3 and 9. I have a negative 3 and a negative 5. And then I've got 0 and 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph line A. So I've got 3. So 3 on the X and 9 on the Y would give me that point right there. Then I've got a negative 3, and then a negative 5 would give me that point right there. Then I have 0 and 2, which is right there. So now we're going to draw our line. So you get out your straight edge, I'll get out mine. So right there is one point. Down there is my other point. And then when you draw your line, make sure you draw your line all the way through the graph. So when we check this, I can say the top edge of line A goes between a positive 3 and 4, and it should be down here right around a negative 4 in quadrant 3. Okay, so this is line A. You don't have to put those on there if you don't want to, but I like to. Okay, so you're going to do that for B, C, and D. Make sure you show me your table here. Make sure you show me your ordered pair. I want to see the work up here. These problems are very, very important. So this is just a little tutorial to help you get started. And if you have any questions, you can either email me or talk to me in class. Thanks and have a good afternoon.